All right, welcome to step two. Step two, we've already got our tiki cylinder made, and what we're going to do now is we're going to put the mouth in it. And that requires, I don't know, maybe probably half sheet, really a lot less than a half sheet, but we're going to take a half sheet of copy paper here. Again, this is just a practice. We're not doing the real thing here, but all the steps apply pretty much the same way. We're going to start with a little half sheet of this copy paper, and you could cut it with scissors, but I'm just going to cut about half that. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll this into a cylinder, and you can see how our cylinder needs to be about the same size as this opening here. And what we're going to do is just going to slide it right in there, and you can see mine's quite a bit too big, so I'm just going to shorten it rather a lot. Now, when you get ready to put this into your full-size tiki with poster board, you don't want to cut this too small, and it needs to be at least the length of the opening needs to be a pretty good overhang on either side of your cylinder, and that's an important thing. We'll talk about that and get it all installed there. But I'm just going to tear off this little extra bit here. So now I've got these two extra pieces, and I'm not in any need of anything else. So I'm just going to, this has actually turned out into, it's a pretty nice little square. I'm just going to roll it up and just tighten up the roll a little bit. We'll want it to be smaller than the opening, so that I can slide it in there pretty easy. This may not work nearly as well with copy paper as it does with the full-size poster board, but we're going to try it. And there it is. And you'll notice that we have made a cylinder here. You can see it's kind of collapsed in the side there. Just want to push that out. Just going to push that cylinder in there. And what we're looking to do is, now I've got that line of the paper that overhangs, I want to line it up with the top edge of that, and that just requires twisting it a little bit. You can see it wants to pop right out of there. And there it is. And you can see I've got a significant overhang on either side, and obviously I don't need anything like that much, but it does allow me to see just how much extra. What we want to do is we're just going to move it around until it fills the gaps all the way around. You can see I've created a little dent there. Just reach inside there and pop that out. And that's it. That's how we put the mouthpiece in the tiki. We'll come back on the full-size tiki. What we're going to do is we're going to tape little pieces of tape all the way around that to seal it up. Right now we're not going to bother with that. We're just going to push this thing back a little bit so we don't have to trim so much off. And I'm going to put a little small piece of tape just to secure it, because again, this is just a model, if you will. We're just kind of seeing how the pieces go together, so it's not really crucial that they're perfect. So we're just going to put it there, and that just kind of puts it in place. Spread the paper out. We want to fill that gap there, and we'll put another piece there, and that's it. And I'm going to take and trim it. Just trim both sides. Now you want to be careful now, and you don't want to trim it so that this edge pops over the edge of it. That destroys all your support. You can see I've got quite a bit of trimming to do here. So I'm going to trim this. And I'm going to round it. And trim that. just like that. Trim, same thing here. And the same thing here. And these are not crucial because these are just kind of a rough fit, but you can see there we now have tiki with mouth. And these outer edges, we want to leave those there, especially on the big tiki, because that becomes a glue surface to make it completely structurally sound. Without having that overhang there, it kind of becomes floppy and it bends right here, especially when you go to coat it with the paper mache, and it does bad things. So you want to make sure you leave just enough of an overhang here, a little extra. I can trim this a little closer so that I have a gap. You can see if when I turn it around, you can see there's the slightest little gap there, and that's really all you need. All right, there's the mouth installed on the tiki.